return to true crime with strategic eyes.
Strategic back again. We got a good show for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Welcome to True Crime Strategic, ladies and gentlemen. We got a crazy show for you guys today. Yes, D4VD has been named a suspect officially by sources of the LAPD. It's being reported by all major news sources right now. So if it's wrong and if it's misinformation, listen. A lot of people are going to have to make retractions. Ladies and gentlemen, they are looking at D4VD. I'm just joking for that little shade that I threw his way. It's all love. I appreciate what he's doing out there, but he's doing a lot of retractions lately. And I'm like, brah, come on, man, get it together. But anyway, back to business, ladies and gentlemen. D4VD has been named a suspect. We're going to get into that. I'm going to see what they have to say. I didn't read any of this. I wanted to come into this fresh. I wanted to react to this information to you guys, with you guys, like a family. We knew that this was going to come. It's just common sense. Everybody's unique. People are unique, but we follow patterns. There's only but so many different ways that you could commit a crime. You could do something bad, right? So people tend to follow the patterns when they do things like this. It just didn't make sense that somebody else would put her inside of the frunk. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense that he'd follow the path of messing with an underage girl. This girl is in his custody, living with him, pretty much almost full-time living with him. And then out of the blue, she just ends up gone in his car. Parked for months, severely decomposed, and as the LAPD source will verify, decomposed and dismembered. Now, I told you I didn't want to commit to that until I got some verifiable evidence, but I'm going to take this statement from the LAPD as verified from this source.
Oh, my God.
That's right. They said it looks like he might have gotten help to dismember Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Oh, my God.
We're going to jump into this, man. We're going to jump into this. We take the bonnet off my head. I'm not a part of the bonnet gang. Take the bonnet off my head because we got a lot to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get hot in here as we discuss the details of this case. But before we do that, I want to put a selfless promotion. Can you do a selfless promotion on your own show? I think we do it on your own show. It's just a promotion, okay? We received information from very, very committed person. I believe that they contribute at times to the Reddit community for the Celeste Rivas Hernandez, Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez Reddit page. I think the name of it is just Celeste Rivas Hernandez, but I like that whole justice thing. This person kind of like helped us understand the family, etc. And they sent us a lot of information that has been gathered on that Reddit page. Like I told you guys, I don't mess with Reddit, but that Reddit page is doing good work. Now, if it devolves into chaos, like how Reddit sometimes devolves into chaos, then, you know, listen, I part my ways, all right? But so far, they're doing really good work, and I want to give them a big shout out. So let's give them a big shout out, all right? Because we need every single voice. We need every single voice to get justice for Celeste. This is not something that one man or one web page or one forum could do. As a community, we're going to get justice for Celeste. All right. So this person sent us all this information, and then the research crew, being a research crew, let me get a yay for the research crew. They did an amazing job. And so tomorrow, we're going to be showcasing this. Now, this is fire. You guys can't see it. Let me fix it so you can see it. I'm about to show you fire, but nothing. Let me get this knucklehead out from my screen. Get out of here, knucklehead. Get out of here. Wrong with you? Ugly. Anyway, who's talking? I'm ugly too. Anyway, let's keep going. We put this together. The research crew put this together. They did an amazing job. Big shout out to Obsidian. You know, I love you, girl. You do amazing work. Man, this is not just some, you know, family tree. That's what I want to call it. Organizational chart. Like these people's organized crime or something. They're not. But when you click this, it goes into deeper information. I'm giving you a taste. Boom. Just giving you a taste. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to jump into this. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, we're going to get into the family tree, some of the rumors, some of the things that's out there, and the things that we know are true. We're going to get into it. So look out for that. Make sure all of your notifications are set for all for True Crime with Strategic. We don't drop videos every single day, 5 times a day that you get annoyed with us. We don't do community messages every freaking minute that it's annoying you. We only drop content when we have something worthwhile to say. So it's safe to say, make sure your notifications are set for all for True Crime Strategic, because we will not abuse you as the audience. We will respect you just like we want you guys to respect the work that we're doing here. We appreciate you. Let's give a big yay to the audience. All right. Now, let's jump into this, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, support the channel, so that as we get into the algorithm, YouTube knows that this channel is giving something probative, something worthwhile. Yeah, we put a little comedy in there, but that's just my personality. I can't help who I am, but don't you get it twisted 1 second. I'm a very serious person. Active duty SA Special Victims Detective here. Active duty, not retired, not former, not used to. Active duty Special Victims Detective here. This is what we do in real life. Real life. So we crack jokes because we like to make people smile. But don't get it twisted. We're here to give a voice to the voiceless. We're here for justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right, we're about to jump into this bad boy real quick. Big shout out to everybody who's joining us today. Big shout out to all my members, all my Patreon members, all my YouTube members. Fan funding real quick. We just want to give a shout out to people who make this show possible. U.S. Patriot Lady been with me for a very long time. I think she's been with me for close to 4 years. She's been with me 3 or 4 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. She says celebrating 23 months as a patrol member. Been a patrol member for much longer than that. But for a time, I got demonetized because I was just too crazy for YouTube. This is the more reserved Strategic. This is Strategic behaving himself with Aki slave driving me in the background, okay? I was a little wilder, all right? Got demonetized for a little bit because of it. But she was with me before then. So we appreciate her. She's celebrating 23 months. She says, your bonnet is so good. We appreciate you. Thank you for the love, U.S. Patriot Lady. Jamie MP with a $5 super chat. We appreciate you, Jamie. Sam I Am Texas celebrating 15 months as a White Shield member. That's a high tier of our membership. We appreciate you. Generic White Female. I keep telling you there's nothing generic about you, Miss White Female, but we appreciate your support. Gave 1 gift membership and is also celebrating 13 months as a patrol member. We appreciate you. People come and join True Crime Strategic and they don't leave, and there's a reason for it, because this is the best community on YouTube, hands down. I don't care how anybody feel about it. That's what I feel, and I'm sticking with it. Big shout out to Care Bears with a $1.99 super chat. Says Bonnet Crew, I hear you. Appreciate you. Generic White Female with another 1 gift membership. Generic White Female with an additional 1. So that's what? 4 or 3 gift memberships. Thank you so much. And whoever got those gift memberships, make sure that you thank Generic White Female in the chat for her generosity so you could become a member of our family as well. Post Baloney with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Jay the Italian Cookie is now a recruit member. Welcome to the family. Samurai in Texas with a $1.99 super chat says justice for Celeste. Couldn't agree with that anymore. We're going to jump into that in just a second, where we're going to talk about the road to justice for Celeste. And Jay the Italian Cookie just became a recruit member and then upgraded her membership to patrol. We love to see that because you get to see more content as a patrol member and higher than you do as a recruit. But we appreciate all of our members because, listen, without you guys, we are nothing. And does that make sense? It makes a whole bunch of sense to me. The audience is everything. Now, you guys ready to jump into this bad boy? You guys ready to jump into this bad boy? I know you're ready. Let's do it. All right. Hit that like button, support the channel. All right. Singer D4VD identified as suspect in connection with death of Celeste Rivas, LAPD says. One more time. All right. Let's do it. Singer D4VD has been identified as a suspect in connection with the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, whose decomposed remains, she was less than 15, by the way. Why do you keep saying 15? Do I have the wrong information? Because the last time I checked, she was less than 15 years old. She was probably 13 or 14 when she got killed, but whatever, let's keep going. I mean, this is like the only person who's deceased where to the news, they keep celebrating her birthdays like she's still here. They keep celebrating her birthday like she's still here. Like every time you read a new article about Celeste, she's a year older. Like, oh, 19-year-old Celeste found inside of the trunk. I thought your birthdays stop when they take your life. I thought she was going to be 14 forever. Apparently with the news, every single birthday we celebrate. But let's keep going. Come on. Singer D4VD has been identified as suspect in connection with the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, whose decomposed remains were found in September inside of a Tesla at a Los Angeles tow yard, according to LAPD source with direct knowledge of the investigation. That same source said 20-year-old artist has not been cooperative in investigation. Not been cooperative. Does an innocent person not cooperate with authorities? Ask yourself that question. Now listen. If he's innocent, wouldn't he cooperate? Wouldn't he tell them his alibi? Wouldn't he tell them where he was at? Wouldn't he give them access to his phones? Give them access to his GPS? Give them access to his car's location information, possible video surveillance information, which I'm pretty sure they turned that feature off when they started moving that body around. But wouldn't he do all those things? He's not cooperating with authorities. Not cooperating. Police tell NBC4 investigators that Celeste's death likely occurred in the spring and that D4VD likely had help in dismembering and disposing of the body. Likely had help in dismembering and disposing of the body.
Oh my God!
They coming for you, boy. They coming for you, bonnet boy. They don't let you have bonnets in prison, buddy. That's contraband. They coming for you, boy. You had the whole world at your feet. You had the opportunity to give your family generational wealth that they would never, ever, 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 ever in their life know mediocrity. But you had a sickness, young man. And that sickness, in my opinion, allegedly, was you was a pedophile. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Celeste, who disappeared in the Lake Elsinore area last year, was identified through forensics. The medical examiner is still working to determine the cause of death. She was last seen April 5th, 2024 in the Western Riverside County community. Details about the circumstances surrounding her disappearance were not immediately available. Her decomposed body was found September 8th after workers at Hollywood Tow reported a strong odor coming from the Tesla registered to the singer. Officers opened the front trunk, also known as a frunk, and found the remains in a bag. Police said she was in a bag. That fact right there, all the covering I've done of this case, because I'm only human and I cover other cases. If you guys watch the show, some of you guys only pop in when it's like the popular stuff that we talk about. It's okay. Do what you do. That's your viewing habits on YouTube. We're not shaming you. Some people watch the show religiously because you want to hear a voice to the voiceless. You know I cover other things. This one slipped by me. I didn't even know she was in a bag. I know there was a bag in there with her, but it totally slipped past me that they put her in a bag. And now we know that not only was she in that bag, but she was dismembered. We know that for a fact now because the LAPD is saying it. Let's keep going. Her decomposed body was found September 8th after workers at Hollywood Toll reported a strong odor. I already read that. Law enforcement sources told NBC News that the remains were not intact. The Romantic Homicide Singers World Tour, which began August 5th, was in Minneapolis at the time of her body's discovery, with a stop in Kansas City the next day. Now, there's something I wanted to play, and I didn't play it last time. I didn't play it because of copyright. I wanted to play for you guys video footage that I saw of him at his concert right after he was told that Celeste, or rather, a body was found in his frunk. The boy was on that stage not missing a beat. All 5'0" of him was on that stage not missing a beat, even though he just heard that a body was found in the frunk of his car. And I'm pretty sure he knew that that body was Celeste, but he didn't miss a beat. Sickening. Let's keep going. The Tesla was impounded after someone reported it was abandoned in Hollywood Hills, where neighbors said it had been parked for more than a month. The LAPD has treated the case as a death investigation. D4VD's tour, and I know his name is David, but for some reason, I just love saying D4VD. I don't know. D4VD's tour, which included a scheduled show in Los Angeles at the Greek Theater, was later canceled. And it wasn't canceled because he was canceling them, to my understanding. It was canceled because these venues are like, yo, we're not going to have you singing in our venue when you're connected to a homicide investigation. Now, he wasn't a suspect at that time, but you had a body found in your car and you still want to perform, bro. It doesn't work that way. So the venues were canceling on him. Big shout out to everybody who's watching. We got almost 350 people watching this live right now. Please hit that like button, support the channel. Once again, please hit the like button and support the channel. Let's keep going. Celeste's brother told NBC LA earlier this year that family members who still live in Lake Eilsnor was aware that the girl knew D4VD. Matthew Rivas said when his sister disappeared, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. She was on her way, this was Valentine's Day, remember, to see a movie with her boyfriend. Some people will say boyfriend, some people will say abuser, but hey, I'll just say a boyfriend. In my opinion, allegedly. Remember, I'm just a dumb cop. Don't believe nothing I say. It's just my opinion. Okay? D4VD is innocent until proven guilty, and he has not been charged with a crime, and he is entitled to his day in court, and he has not been accused of doing anything other than these reports that he has been named a suspect. I am just telling you my opinion on my opinion show, and I'm just a dumb cop. That's it. Okay? So we'll throw that out there for Interscope. Did you hear that, Interscope? Just throwing that out there for you, okay? His brother said that they knew. We talked about that on the show all the time. Did the family knew? I believe the family knew. They knew where she was at. They knew who the last person she was with, but why did they pretend like they didn't know? Why did they pretend like they did not know when everybody knew who she was with? Because the last person she was with, they was aware who she was going out with. David. D4VD. You don't have to look farther to understand these cases than R. Kelly. Yeah, I said it. You don't have to look farther to understand these cases than R. Kelly. R. Kelly is the type case. That's the architect. That's the framework of these type of cases. When you're dealing with families, minors, and degenerate superstars. Money talks. Let's say that one more time. Money talks. When they see those millions, they're looking at it. We live in Lake Eisner. It's a poor area. It's filled with gangs, South LA gangs, poverty. Our daughter, who's out there dating dudes anyway, there's rumors she was dating a 19-year-old when she was like 11. I think that's not a bad reflection on her. That's a bad reflection on the parenting, that they're not properly parenting their daughter. I could not even fathom one of my children dating somebody at age 11. But in their eyes, she's already out there, so the least we could do is be happy that she's with somebody who could provide, somebody who's wealthy, somebody who could possibly help us. This is my theory. No evidence to back it up. I think the family was paid off, but you guys can call me a fool if you want, but that's what I'm thinking. Let's keep going. D4VD, whose real or legal name is David Burke, is a singer-songwriter who rose to fame with viral hits on TikTok, where he has 3.6 million followers. The success led to signings with Dark Room and Interscope Records. Born in Queens, New York, Burke moved to Texas in his early teens and gained a following on YouTube playing Fortnite and other online games. He started creating original music, some of which went viral on TikTok. He released his debut album, Withered, in April and embarked on a world tour. In an interview on the Zach Sang Show, David said the 4 substituted for the A and his name was for search engine optimization. This kid was a genius. You kidding me? Freaking genius when it comes to the social media. What wasted talent. Like, I'm not a big fan of his music, but I'm an old head. That's not a knock on this kid. I'm just an old head. But he made those songs by himself. He produced them by himself. He made the beats, the tracks, the music, the piano, all of that in his sister's closet on an iPhone. This kid was a genius. I don't like the lyrics. I don't like the words, but I cannot even make trashy music like he did. I'm just not talented. He at least made music. And people, maybe not us old heads watching this show, maybe we don't think it's entertaining, but people, children thought it was entertaining to the tune of making this man millions. What wasted potential, ladies and gentlemen. What wasted potential. This is a cautionary tale. Do not isolate your children. Do not isolate your children. That's why I'm not a proponent of homeschooling. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack because I got a lot of parents in my chat like, oh, homeschool is the best. Oh my God, I'm a professor in every single subject. My kid is going to be a Rhodes Scholar one day because of me. Okay, good for you. I personally don't think that it's healthy for children to be homeschooled. Children are social beings. Now, is it possible you can homeschool them and put them in tons of programs? And some schools allow you to homeschool and you can still send your kid to basketball team and football team and they get their socializations there. Some schools allow you to have homeschool gatherings. Those are the exceptions. Maybe that kid is still getting their social stuff. But some homeschooling where it's like you just stay home and you never ever see another kid, I think you turn your kid into a D4VD. Children need to be socialized. This guy was socially stunted. 20 years old, going on 12. We watched the interview when he said, yo, I don't think I've grown in the last 5 years. He still thought he was 13. What the hell do I know? Nothing. Big shout out to KI. Just upgraded their membership to Patrol. Thank you so much, KI, for supporting the channel. Hope you enjoy your membership. Crafty Nana Tracy with a $2 super says, just a little support for you, Strategic. Thank you. I appreciate you. And our Deco Rose is celebrating 2 months as a recruit. You are appreciated. Before we jump back into this and make sure that I showed love to everybody who's showing love to this channel. Let's give a big shout out to Jerry, who's now a Patrol member. Welcome to the family. And Rockman with a $5 super chat says, happy Tuesday, Strategic family. Thank you so much, Rockman. Let's get back into this. All right. Let's go to the next one. TMZ. D4VD investigators view him as a suspect in Celeste Rivas' apparent homicide. This is huge because we went from he's not a suspect to he's a suspect. This is huge progress. You don't get to this point unless you have some evidence that's leading you in that direction. You cannot come out and publicly say that D4VD is a suspect as law enforcement if you do not have evidence that's leading you to that conclusion. On YouTube, we can have our opinions and all that stuff. What are we at? We're nobodies. We're just talking heads on the internet, you know? But law enforcement has authority when they speak. So if they are putting it out there that he's a suspect now and he's not, that's a big problem for the LAPD. That's a big problem. So let's keep going. D4VD is viewed as a suspect in the death of Celeste Rivas, the teenager who was found decomposing in his Tesla. Law enforcement sources with direct knowledge tells TMZ. As far as we know, there's no paperwork classifying David as a suspect, but as one of our sources told us, investigators are looking at David as a suspect. We're also told they're viewing Celeste's death as a homicide, even though the medical examiner has not yet determined cause of death or manner of death. Investigators are still awaiting toxicology results. One source claims the police investigator revealed that around the spring of 2025, David took a trip in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara County and remained there for several hours. Woo!
Oh my God!
Oh boy, the dragnet is closing, boy. See, you guys don't know why I'm so excited. It's not even because of this investigation. It's also not because I'm just naturally an excitable person. See, I do investigations for a living, high-level investigations. And this is how I feel when I'm working a case, especially a very intricate and difficult case. And you start seeing the evidence, the facts start to encircle the suspect. And you see that circle getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you say, got him. And you drop that PC on him. You drop that wanted flyer on him. You drop that we have probable cause to arrest him. You call up the warrant squad and you say, yo, listen, I got this violent felon. I need you to go get him for me because, strategic. I go get some of my guys, but, when they really violent, I'm old now. I'm not that same guy that was working on that gun team trying to go after the guys with the guns. That was young strategic. I'm a detective now. I'm old. I don't do that no more. I send the warrant squad. Let them go do that. They like doing that stuff. They like kicking down doors and stuff. I just wait outside until they get them. Or I wait in my office and then they'll call me and they say, yo, we got your guy. We're coming down to your office. I'm like, okay, good job, guys. Got some donuts for you when you get over here. They like donuts.
Oh my God!
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
All cops like donuts. Anyway. That's why I'm so excited. I'm excited because I know what that LAPD detective is doing right now. He's getting all this data that takes time. It takes time for AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile all of them to send you back the information. Then when they send it to you, you're like, where's my cell tower location? They're like, oh, we forgot to send you cell tower location, but we need another subpoena for that because the first subpoena only said lug and toll. So now you got to go back to the DA. You got to say, well, give me another subpoena for the cell tower location of the GPS. And get the search warrant for that. Then you can send that search warrant in. Then it takes them another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months to send you the search warrant location and the GPS navigation location and all that stuff. Then you find out what car they were driving and that they switched to different cars. So now you got to get a subpoena and a search warrant to get the GPS location for that car. And now all this data is starting to just come in and come at you. And all you got is Excel in front of you, reading through that data, and you parsing through that data, and what do you see? That circle getting smaller and smaller and smaller around that suspect until you got him. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now to David. We on the road for justice, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. One source claims the police investigator revealed that around the spring of 2025, David took a trip in the middle of the night to a remote area of Santa Barbara County and remained there for several hours. We have not double-sourced that information. It's also unclear why a spring trip would be on LAPD's radar. We have not been able to find a photo or video of Celeste since September of 2024. David was living in the Hollywood Hills in a rental home. Cops searched the property for blood evidence, and his Tesla was abandoned on a nearby street and towed to an impound lot, where Celeste's body was later found in the front trunk, aka the frunk. Celeste's body was decomposing when it was found in a plastic bag back in early September, and our sources say it looks like the body was cut up and that the manner in which Celeste was dismembered strongly suggests whoever did it had help from other people. Did his brother help him? Who would you trust to help you? Would a manager do that? Probably not. Would an assistant do that? Probably not. Who would you trust enough to help you? D4VD ain't a blood or a Crip. He ain't down with Snoop Dogg. He not a gangster. He's a wankster. So it looks like it would most likely be somebody very close to him. I don't know. This is all just theories. We have no evidence to back this up. I'm pulling this out of my booty. I don't want to pull nothing out of my booty. I'm sorry. Just scratch that one from the record. I'm just saying, who else could it be? Because there's rumors saying that the LAPD was looking at his brother because his brother was the one that was driving the Tesla around. Allegedly, nothing to confirm that, just rumors. Let's keep going. It's unclear if cops have any suspects besides D4VD. LAPD told us Monday that they are not close to making an arrest. We reached out to David's camp. So far, no word back. Let's keep going. ABC 7 Eyewitness News. I'm going to give you these different sources. Let's keep going. D4VD considered suspect in death investigation of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Sources said, just let you know, I'm not pulling this out of nowhere. I'm reading the news. That's all I'm doing. I'm just telegraphing the news into the interwebs. Let's keep going. The singer David is considered a suspect in the death investigation of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found inside an impounded Tesla in September. A source with knowledge of the investigation told Eyewitness News on Tuesday. Still, no one has been arrested and the investigation is ongoing. Sources tell ABC News. So all these different news are getting the information from the source. They're not getting information from each other. It's not like AP got the information and everybody bought that news story from AP and they're just running AP's news source. No, Channel 4 spoke to a source in the LAPD and this source spoke directly to Channel 4. TMZ spoke to a source and that source spoke directly to TMZ. ABC 7 News spoke to a source and that source spoke directly to ABC News. Let's keep going. Sources tell ABC News that the investigators have been in contact with multiple people they believe were involved in the case in some capacity, and those investigators tell ABC News they are certain they are going down the right path for a suspect. We got our guy. This is our guy we're going to look into. This is the guy we think did it. Rivas Hernandez was reported missing from Lake Elsinore in early 2024. She ran away a few times and returned before her last runaway in April 2024. According to Riverside County Sheriff's Office, she reportedly called home at the end of May 2024 and had not been heard from since. Authorities discovered her body on September 8th after responding to a tow yard near Mansfield Avenue and Romaine Street in Hollywood. Officers went in to investigate a foul odor coming from the Tesla, which police sources said had been at the lot for 2 days after it was found abandoned on a public street in Hollywood. Police located the body inside a bag placed in the front trunk of the Tesla. LAPD sources said the body was dismembered and in a state of decomposition, sources told ABC News. The vehicle was registered to 20-year-old singer David Anthony Burke, known as D4VD, who has more than 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify and over 3.6 million followers on TikTok, where his songs Here With Me and Romantic Homicide have gone viral. He released his debut album early this year and often credits TikTok for its success. And that album is very successful because of some of you degenerates that like to buy albums from possible murderers. Possible, alleged, not confirmed, no evidence to back it up. innocent until proven guilty. Let's keep going. Sources with knowledge of investigation say D4VD is not cooperating with the investigation. Just pull like a I sounded just like Medea. Cooperating. I like Medea. I like those Medea movies. I'm not really into movies like that, but I gave it a chance many years ago, and now I see every Medea movie that comes out because it's funny. I like it. I don't know, whatever. Sources with knowledge of investigation says D4VD is not cooperating with the investigation and never has cooperated despite what his PR reps have claimed. He's not cooperating. David was on tour when the body was discovered and had a stop scheduled in Los Angeles on September 20th. The remainder of the tour was abruptly canceled before that tour stop amid the investigation. The exact cause of Rivas Hernandez's death is still undetermined because the body was badly decomposed, but investigators believe it was a murder that occurred earlier this year. So to say the conclusion could come soon. A step that will be critical in making an arrest and formally filing charges. David, they are coming for your ass. They coming for you, boy.
Oh my God.
They coming for you. David, they are coming for you. Why, David? Why?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Let's keep going. If you guys don't know, that's when they were talking about Saddam Hussein. I was Paul Brenner way back when 2003, when most of you young people watching my show were not born. That's what they said when they got Saddam. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. David made some changes to the ownership of one of his Texas homes last month. Eyewitnesses News said, or learned rather. Records show he transferred his Cypress home located in the Houston area to his mother's name on September 23rd. Officials say deputies were called to the Houston area home where David's parents live on September 17th, but that turned out to be a fake swatting call. Whoever did that swatting call should go to jail right alongside David if David is guilty of what happened to Celeste. I think swatting is the most evil thing you can do. Why? Because it's beyond games. We have seen many times where people have swatted individuals and police have killed people who were victims of a swatting. Swatting should be I'm not going to say a capital offense. That's going too far. But it should have a minimum of 10 years in prison if you swat somebody. I honestly believe so. I do believe so. But once again, that's only if I was dictator of the world. And we all know you don't want strategic to be dictator of the world. I would be a very, very, very cruel dictator. Let's keep going. Officials say deputies were called to the Houston area home where David's parents live, and it was fake swatting. In mid-September, detectives executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David has been staying. Investigators were seen taking evidence, including a computer from the home. According to the LA Times, the lease on the home had been broken early and D4VD had moved out. He was not living there anymore. We're going to finish the show with this. So it's going to be SF Investigates on Law and Crime talking about, I didn't watch this. The research crew said, yo, play this, is interesting. Talking about the autopsy. This is my issue with FF Investigates. There's no shade that I have with this guy. I'm a little wild, I'm a little crazy. I crack jokes. I'm from Harlem, all right, from uptown Manhattan. That's where I grew up. I don't live there anymore. We go at people. We do the dozens. We crack jokes, all right? That doesn't mean I don't like you. I appreciate the fact that SF Investigates is out there doing his part in this investigation. We have learned things from SF Investigates that we probably would not have learned if he was not hired by the homeowner that David was renting for. But I think FS tries to stay relevant in the media, and so he sometimes says things that are not accurate or less than accurate. And that's a little bit of a problem for me as a detective. All right. I come on here, I speculate a lot, but I tell you what I'm speculating about, and I tell you alleged, and I tell you it's my opinion, and I admit that I'm a dumb cop with a bachelor's degree and 19 years of law enforcement experience and 15 years of investigative experience. I tell you that. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Believe who you want to believe. But when you come out and you say things definitively, like recently he said that the FBI was involved with this case, but there's no evidence that the FBI is involved with this case. And then he came out with a retraction that really wasn't retraction, that he was kind of talking out of two sides of his mouth, and my head started spinning like The Exorcist, and I was like, what the hell is happening here? Come on, dude, stop doing that. That's not cool, because you're doing good work out there. You're discrediting yourself for no reason, just to remain relevant on Twitter, all right? Because most of his blunders come from him feeling like he has to do daily Twitter posts. So if I was a friend to him, I'd say, buddy, lay off of the Twitter, right? Stick to the facts. And, if you don't have nothing to say, then just don't say nothing, because you're doing good work out there. You have more information that Strategic has, okay? So it is what it is. All right. That being said, I don't know what he's going to say on here. I've given you the preface or whatever. I've prepped you for this, all right? Let's see what he says. Take it with a grain of salt, maybe. Believe him. I don't know. It's up to you.
Let me tell you, if this is all true, why this is so surprising. Aside from how long this has been going on, how long the investigation has been going on, and the potential evidence that was collected at the home, I mentioned that private investigator, right? Steve Fisher. Now, we've interviewed him a number of times here on Sidebar. He is the PI who was hired by the owner of that rental property that David was staying at to look into this, to see what role that house may have played in any of this, if any. He has been on the ground in LA investigating. And when hearing this,
somebody said, careful, he gonna post, that's one of my moderators, post a meme gif about you. I don't do petty stuff like that. I'm a grown man. That's like childish stuff. I would believe that he's more mature than that. If he has an issue with me, he should reach out with me, and I'll be very cordial with him. And if I said something that offended him, I'll apologize, because I'm not here to offend anybody. But all that meme stuff, we both grown men, we shouldn't be playing those games. We should not play those games. If I say something that offends somebody, I'm telling my opinion, but if I say something that offends somebody, reach out to me. Let's talk about it like adults. And if I say something that offends you, I will come on my show and apologize. But all that meme stuff, stop that bullshit. We don't do that. We grown people. We grown men. Or at least I come from a different cloth. I come from the mean streets of New York City. So we kind of grow where stuff like that is beneath us. We don't play those kind of games. So I'm not going to be going back and forth with nobody. I'm going to keep it above board. Let's keep going.
This announcement from the LAPD and taking it as true that they're not close to an arrest, this is why this can be so confusing. First of all, we knew that the results of Celeste's autopsy have been deferred pending further investigation and reportedly the toxicology results coming in. But listen to what Steve told us recently about why he believes the results may be coming in sooner. Now, you've also been tracking the medical examiner timeline, the LAPD's timelines actively, very closely. Have there been any developments there that you can give a better sense of when we might maybe even see an official determination about the cause of death, the manner of death, anything like that?
I think it could be in the next week to 10 days. And that's because, what I've been doing is tracking, her, she was discovered on the 8th, on September 8th. So I've been tracking the deaths for the months and weeks before that date, and the ones that were in deferred status. Those are usually the ones that are pending toxicology. And then I'm seeing that they're showing up as they're not deferred anymore, and they're showing, acute fentanyl intoxication or whatever. So they have, that shows
in other cases, yes.
So in other cases. So it shows that the toxicology has come back on those, and they're making determinations. And I've seen those as recent as September 3rd right now. So we could be, just days away from, now that doesn't mean the autopsy report is done in total, but it does mean that on the website, we could see a determination of the cause and manner of death, which will then should free up LAPD to do what they're going to do.
That was back on November 3rd. This is also what Steve said about knowing who moved the Tesla. Again, if we're trying to figure out what LAPD allegedly just told TMZ about not being close to an arrest of any kind, does this make sense?
We now have a much better understanding of when that Tesla arrived at that final parking spot. I'll tell you, I do have surveillance from different houses in the neighborhood showing the Tesla being moved. And so things like that, and I'm not even saying that LAPD didn't have that, but I'm sure they did, but we wanted to make sure, and we did some work and on the up-resing the footage to find out who was driving the vehicle.
Do you know who was driving that car, that Tesla? You don't have to tell me, but do you know the identity?
Yeah, As far as it going to the final, that what we believe is the final parking spot where it was towed from, yes.
And that information's been communicated to law enforcement.
So it's been given to law enforcement. They're not going to tell us if they're confirming if that's a person or not. Robbery, homicide, the way they work is we'll take your information. We're not going to speak on it, so I don't know. But listen, it's very clear that that neighborhood is filled with surveillance cameras, and the timelines, once we learn those dates and we can see other things that were happening that were even public on Instagram and whatnot, were going on in those people's lives, it makes a lot of sense.
So let me ask you this. If you see when the car was parked there, have you seen anything to indicate that Celeste's body was transferred into that car after the car was parked there? Or in other words, do you believe that her body was in that car the minute it was parked in the location it was ultimately towed from?
So I'll say I have no evidence of a body being transferred before or after. There's no evidence of that at all. But I will say, when it was moved to that position, it was already like that. So that car had not been used in a very long time. It was super dirty, caked on dirt. I'll tell you, this was in late July.
All right, hold on real quick. Before we get back to this, please hit that like button. We have almost 500 people watching this stream. We want to get up there as high as we can, guys. We want to get into that algorithm so that a wider audience can see this show, all right? Let's keep going.
So it's bizarre because we also got media that the car was used a lot. David even spoke about it in Instagram videos. He took it to a detail shop and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the very beginning of the year, that car, something happens, and that car's doesn't show up anymore. It's not used. It seems to disappear. And then that red Tesla learned, which we didn't know until the search warrant was served, that there's a red Tesla in the garage, which I can tell you was leased on February 1st.
Again, if they knew who moved the car, there's not enough to arrest that person. And we're going to discuss what the charge could be. And we go back to that rental property, which was rented out by David's manager. By the way, David's manager was on the lease. David was purportedly staying there. Listen to what Steve Fisher had to say.
But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence, that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her. And it's scary, sadistic stuff. And that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more, but for obvious reasons I can't. But it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on ultimately getting rid of her, and how maybe that Tesla was just a holding spot at the time and things just, their timing.
Yeah, but I think so, that the Tesla was just to store the body, but they had so much time to kind of figure this out. Why did they just leave it there? That I don't understand. This girl had a history of running away. They could have disposed of her body and then said that she ran away from David. Say, hey, I broke up with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. And she was upset and she ran away. And I don't know where she went. And would that fly? Maybe, maybe not. If they can't find her body, they can't find any evidence, then, maybe. Don't get it twisted. The majority of homicides go unsolved. Look it up. Nobody looks up this statistic, but look up the statistic for your municipality. What is the proportion of homicides that are solved? It's not 100%. It's not even 80%. You'd be surprised that in many municipalities, it's low, 30 to 40%. Some places even lower than that if they don't have any money, like Detroit. I think Detroit is less than 20%. So if they don't have a body and she's a known chronic runaway, she would just be classified as a runaway until the end of time. They just forget about her and keep it moving. I'm serious. That's what would happen. So why didn't he just get rid of the body, pour bleach in the trunk, and keep it moving and sell the car? That's it. Literally, get rid of the body, pour bleach in the trunk, sell the car. Case is closed, really. Just let the body stay in the trunk for months? Don't move the car? Then let the car get towed? What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? It doesn't make any sense, man.
It was just off as far as getting this done. But there's a few things that we're just like, will blow your mind.
But TMZ is now reporting that according to their conversation with LAPD is no closer to an arrest. And yes, that is...
All right, so we'll stop that there because this is not accurate. It's old. It's old. Play one last thing and then we'll get out of here. Aki found the video that I was talking about. Hold on. Yeah, I think I can play it. Hold on. All right, perfect. I actually thought they played music. I totally forgot. This is right after he was told, not right after, but he was already told at this point that a body was found in his frunk, the front trunk of his Tesla. This is how David gave it up after he found out that a body was found in his car.
Listen to Claro, listen to Levy.
All right, so we can't play the rest because that's going to be his song copyright, but I'll play it muted. Look at him. Does he look bothered to you? Does he look bothered to you? He got his guy with the guitar in the back. He's got his shirt. He's throwing away free shirts. He's having a grand old time, ladies and gentlemen. Grand old time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to justice, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the road to justice. I appreciate everybody who joined me tonight. You guys have been amazing. No shade on anybody. I know it's a little tough on SF Investigates, but it's all love, man. It's all love. I'm sorry for being a meanie. I shouldn't be mean. We don't do that on the show. We don't get to other creators. It's just that I'm really invested in this case, and I really believe in the work that people are doing, bringing awareness. And, you know, some of the things kind of, you know, irked me a little bit. But listen, who am I? I'm nobody. You know what I mean? So I just want to throw that out there. No shade on SF Investigates. I'm too passionate at times. We appreciate all the hard work that you're doing on this case. Guys, I love you guys immensely. You guys are great. Make sure you hit your like button on your way out the building. We're trying to get into that algorithm. Make sure that you join us as a member and also join our Patreon where we drop tons of content on the Patreon. It's very intimate over there on the Patreon. We could talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's kind of raw. It's kind of wild on the Patreon. I'm not going to lie to you. It's raw and wild. So, you know, if you're one of those grandmas that don't like to hear good old strategic swearing, you may not want to go on the Patreon. But if you're down for that raw, crazy stuff, go over to the Patreon. Join the Patreon. You won't regret it. You have a great time. You definitely get your money's worth. All right. So we'll see you guys on the next one. You guys are amazing. Make sure you join me tomorrow at around 11. We'll schedule it soon, 11-ish Eastern. We're going to go over the family tree of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. We're going to find out how did this girl, through my theories, of course, no facts, just my opinion, how did this girl disappear for all this time? And it just seems like nobody cared. Well, I don't know. Maybe as we peer deep into this family, we might find a dysfunction that allows something like this tragedy to happen. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.